Welcome to this new case study on writing. In this video, I want to show you some of my most popular articles and show you how I've set up my articles and my website for success. So videoschoolonline.com is my main business and brand, and it's a place to learn creative skills. And so if you go check out videoschoolonline.com, it'll probably look something like this. The homepage has some basic information about what we are, what we do, what we teach, what you can learn on our website. And then at the top of the page, there are links to different categories or different topics. Over the years, this has changed. Before, instead of having these different categories, I had a link to just my blog or just my articles. What I realized was that because I have visitors and different target audiences who come to Video School Online, some interested in video, some just interested in photography, it was best for me to actually separate the categories onto separate pages and make it easier for people to find the content that they want that way. Just diving back into the archives, these are 3 of my most popular articles that I wrote years ago. And they started to rank on Google. And so if you search for terms related to Adobe Premiere Pro or After Effects, or how much to charge as a freelancer, or how green screen works, or green screen tutorial, then these articles are going to be some of the first ones that pop up on Google. And that's why articles in written word is a really good thing to do for content marketing, because if it lives on your website as written word, then Google will see that and other search engines will see that. And that's how a lot of people are going to start to find your website, through searching for keywords on Google related to your search terms or related to your articles. This is why, at the end of the day, spending more time creating higher quality content, such as an article, is probably better, in my opinion. At least it's worked better for me than spending more time on things like social media. One of the best things that I learned as an entrepreneur and as an online business is that social media platforms, they are not search engines. While you can search on Facebook for content, or Twitter, or Instagram, once you post something, depending on the platform, that post might disappear from people's minds within a minute or two, definitely within a day. You think about the people and the things you follow on Instagram or Facebook, and how many times have you gone back a year or found something on Facebook or Instagram that was posted over a year ago that is still not relevant today, but that is just popping up on your feed? Not much, if I would bet on it. And that's because social media wants you to see new content, whereas on a blog or a website, you don't necessarily have to be posting new content all of the time. And that's one thing I want to get across in this case study, is that to do well with articles, you don't have to be posting every single week. You don't have to be posting every single day. Being consistent is good, and posting frequently is great if you can do that. But as a solopreneur, I know how hard it is to wear all of the hats of a business person and a marketer and everything else you have to do as a solopreneur. And sometimes it's better to focus on creating a limited amount of higher quality articles than having to post something new every single week or more often. So if you're just getting started out, what I would say is pick the 5 to 10 most popular questions that someone may be asking for about your topic, and write an epic guide / article about that. And you can have that, what I'll call pillar content, on your website. So if someone's new to whatever your business is and they come to your website, you have content there for them that will be interesting. Imagine if you were a newbie in whatever business you are doing, whether it's teaching online or baking bread or taking photos or selling pancakes on the street, whatever it is. if someone comes to your website, imagine if someone was just getting into that topic and just getting really excited about it, and your website was there for them and had 5 to 10 really great articles that were super interesting for that person, then that's going to be a win right there. And that's kind of what I've done. Although I've been writing articles almost weekly for over 5 years, at the beginning of this year, when I'm recording this course, I stopped writing new articles because I realized I had written a lot of articles or had other authors write articles for me that covered a lot of the main topics. And that's what I wanted to do with my website. I didn't want to necessarily become a website where I was writing articles about the latest trending topic related to photography, for example, like the latest camera model that came out. That's not what my website is. There's lots of other websites that do that. For me, I wanted the basics of how does someone learn how to become a better photographer. So instead of having an articles or blog page with the most recent articles popping up, I created these category pages, and you might not have multiple categories. This might just be one page on your website for guides or articles. And it just has a list of all of the articles there on this page for people. And these pages are really, really popular for people who come to my website. And it's very engaging. The bounce rate, the rate at which people leave my website after coming to it and visiting only one page, is very low. We'll talk more about that in the analytics section of this course. But here, if you're interested in photography and you come to my website and go to the photo page, look at all these articles that are great for someone who's interested in photography. We have the basics, camera basics, composition, exposure, camera equipment. If people are interested in equipment, we have camera equipment and camera lenses. And all of the articles and guides are listed out right here. A lot of these guides, I actually had someone write for me last year, just because as my business grew, I didn't have time to write articles myself. So I had someone do it for me. And that was a really good idea because I was able to publish weekly content and still do a lot of my other things as well. And so if you go to Video School Online, you can see kind of the quality of the articles. One thing that also does really well with articles is linking and cross-linking to other articles of yours, because the goal is to keep someone on your website, right? You don't want someone to come to your website and then leave. So if you're in and you come to this depth of field article, you start reading it, you see that there's links to other articles about the exposure triangle or about aperture. I make it a little bit more interesting with a video tutorial that is on YouTube. Again, aperture, there's links to those macro lenses. So if you find something else you're interested in, you might say, okay, I'm interested in what a crop sensor camera is. So I'm going to go, oh, this is actually an affiliate link. So that's one way you can make money from your blog. But let's see, under and overexposing your images for creativity. Here's another article. Okay, so here's something that might interest you. And then you kind of get on this track of just going from one article to the next. And I like that we've set up these pages with lots of articles, because it's a resource for that person to come to this page and get all kinds of content. They're not going to consume all this content in one day, but they'll know, okay, if I ever need anything about video production or photography, etc., I can go back to videoschoolonline.com. It's easy to access from these pages. So that's just one other tip. The last sort of case study I want to show you is you don't have to be posting content on your own site necessarily. If you can guest post on other websites, that's great. So as you know, since you're taking this class, one of my main businesses is online courses, and udemy.com is where I post a lot of my courses, and it's one of the biggest parts of my business. Udemy has a blog themselves, and a while ago, this is in 2015, they had me write a guide to photography. This is a really, really long article / guide. but it's super comprehensive. It includes tons and tons of keywords for someone who is searching. Okay, this is just like a blur to you. I know that was kind of annoying, but here's all the topics that are covered in this guide. And this is something that would be great on my own website, just one long guide, but also to be guest posting it on another website, specifically the Marketplace's blog where I sell my online courses. It does really well, and it converts people into students as well who are interested in taking this learning about photography. And then there's a link to my course. So if there's any marketplaces or just other websites that are related to your content and your topic, reach out to them. See if you could be a guest post. I know as a website myself, I get people emailing me all of the time asking if they can guest post on my website. Most times I say no. And so a tip is, if you're going to do that, make sure that you really do your research well. And when you pitch your idea to be a guest writer, make sure you include several ideas that are very specific, really high quality, and very, very related to that website's target audience. Sometimes I get people trying to guest post for me talking about business, but Video School Online, while we do post some business articles, it's mostly about for video creators, photographers, and other creative fields. And so those types of guest posts I'm not going to include. Sometimes it's just brands or products that are trying to sell their own product through their guest post, and I can see right through that. So that's not something I want. But sometimes I'm trying to think if there was one here that I can remember. I'm pretty sure that this Better Cinematography on a Budget article was a guest post. And this is something that someone pitched to me, and it works pretty well because it's exactly what my audience is interested in as well. So guest posting is a great way to get your content to more places, get your content on websites with more visitors, especially when you're starting out. But make sure that you're pitching high quality ideas. All right, hopefully this case study looking at some of my best performing content inspires you and gives you ideas. Like I've said before, one of the best ways to learn is to follow people in your niche. So while video and photo might not be what you do, probably isn't, it's important to follow people in your own niche, and you'll learn even better that way. Awesome. We'll see you in the next lesson.